Hey there, Cogburn Woods. This is Mr. C here, and I'm going to be sharing a book with you today. You know, it's kind of the thing I like to do. When we were at school, I spent all my day working with students and working with reading. And you know, as we're remote learning, I'm still working on reading, still working with students and building their reading skills. I found this book, A Frog in the Bog, and some of you may know. Uh, when we came home for our quarantine, a couple of guests came with me. I'm talking about Jumper and Coco, the agriculture room frogs. They are here in my house, and I'm taking care of them. Well, Geo and I are taking care of them while we're here, and hopefully we'll be bringing them safely back when we get back to school. This right here, for those of you that might not know, this is Bibbit. This is my son's frog. So he's joining me today because we got this book here. I thought it was perfect for me to share a book about frogs. I actually got a couple of them that I'll share. But before I start reading the book, I thought I'd tell you, one of the really cool things about books is not only do they have stories in them, but sometimes the books themselves have their own little stories. So let me tell you a little story about this book. This book was originally a gift. It was actually a gift for Miss Maston from one of her students who she taught in 2004. And 2004 was the first year she came over to teach at Cogburn Woods. It was actually the first year that Cogburn Woods was open. So this book right here has been at Cogburn Woods for as long, sorry there, Bibbit, as long as Cogburn Woods was open. So we're going to give a little shout out to Sean F., whoever Sean F. is, who gave this book to Miss Maston. And at some point, Miss Maston then shared this book with me, and it became part of my collection. So here I've got A Frog in the Bog. And just by listening to the title, I bet you can guess there's going to be a little bit of rhyme here. Our authors, Karma Wilson and Joan Rankin, put this clever story together. It kind of makes me think of another familiar story. I think you probably have heard it. I know an old lady who swallowed a fly. It doesn't quite follow that same pattern, but it makes me think of that. And as I read, I bet if you get a chance, you might notice the connection there. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to share with you A Frog in the Bog. A Frog in the Bog. There's a frog on the log in the middle of the bog. A small green frog on a half-sunk log in the middle of the bog. He flicks one tick as it creeps up a stick. One tick on the belly of a small green frog on a half-sunk log in the middle of a bog. And the frog grows a little bit bigger. He sees two fleas as they leap through the reeds. One tick, two fleas in the belly of the frog on a half-sunk log in the middle of a bog. And the frog grows a little bit bigger. He spies three flies as they buzz through the skies. One tick, two fleas, three flies, oh my, in the belly of the frog. In the belly of the frog on the half-sunk log, in the middle of the bog. It just didn't sound quite right. I had to fix that little mistake there. Oh my goodness, look at all those insects inside the frog. And the frog grows a little bit bigger. He glugs for slugs as they slink through the sludge. One tick, two fleas, three flies, oh my, four slugs, ew, ugh, in the belly of the frog on a half-sunk log in the middle of the bog. And the frog grows a little bit bigger. Look at that belly there. I think I know what's about to be eaten next. He inhales 5 snails from their heads to their tails. 1 tick, 2 fleas, 3 flies, oh my, 4 slugs, ew, ugh, and 5 slimy snails in the belly of the frog, on a half-sunk log in the middle of the bog. What a hog, that frog! And the frog grows bigger, a little bit bigger. Then that log with the frog in the middle of the bog starts to rise. And the frog sees eyes? That's no log. And the frog sees claws and a big set of jaws and a mouth like a crater. And the frog screams, "Gator!" With his mouth open wide, all the bugs inside start to crawl and fly and to slither and slide. Out come 5 snails with their heads to their tails. Out come 5 snails from their heads to their tails. 4 slugs, ew, ugh. 3 flies, oh my. 2 fleas, dear me. And 1 tiny tick, ick. And right in the middle of his holler, the frog grows a whole lot smaller. "See you later," says the gator as he romps through the swamp, 'cause the itty-bitty frog isn't big enough to chomp. Now, the bugs in the bog keep away from the frog, and the frog never sits on a half-sunk log. And that is the story of a frog in the bog. I hope you enjoyed it.